This message is for the parents and guardians of the Blue Brigade. Thank you for allowing your student to participate in FCCLA this year, as well as the ProStart cooking competition. When I tell you they represented so well, I would not trade them for any other team. Axel, Isaiah, Gabby, Lydia did a fantastic job. They were poised, they were confident, they were professional. They gave excellent answers to the judges. They received feedback with grace. They were not combative. I got to tell you guys, I would not trade them for any other team. They did a phenomenal job. And if you're listening to this team, it's okay that you didn't bring a trophy home because we're going to kill them next year. All right. Stay in there, stick with it, keep cooking. Um, what you bring to the recipe. You bring that soul to the recipe, right? I'm proud to be your coach. And I'm proud that you're part of our culinary department at Garinger. Again, thank you, parents. Thank you, guardians. Also for the financial contribution to help get the students there. If you contributed to the fundraising efforts, everything that you did to allow them even just to go to give the okay and sign the permission slip. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you soon. All right. Welcome back to the Hospitality Hacks Pro Show. You just heard me doing a little blurb to the parents and guardians of the members of the Blue Brigade, as we call it, the culinary team at Garinger High School. Super excited about the job that they did and the representation that they did during this culinary competition season. And woo, deep breath, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I said this on the if you follow me on Instagram, I am tired. Yo, we put some work in to get ready for competition. We are after school twice a week, sometimes more, practicing recipes, practicing oral presentations, fine tuning things, costing menu items. It was so much to go into that, and I just want to talk about it just a little bit because here on the Hospitality Hacks Pro Show, we talk about things in and around culinary arts and hospitality. And as a culinary enthusiast, one of the things that happens is competitions. Competition is a way for chefs and budding chefs and aspiring or wannabe chefs to showcase their talents and kind of get their name out there, win money, win scholarships, in addition to the recognition. So if you are a fan of Chopped or any of there's so many cooking shows on TV, just think about that. But for high school kids and less cameras. All right, and that's what we participated in. So I want to break it down just a little bit because when I was first deciding to compete with our students at Garinger, I was looking on YouTube for any kind of resources or background information, anything like that about what it's like to be a coach for a cooking team. I've never been. I competed a couple of times on a very very small scale, but I'm not very super well versed in cooking competitions. And there are mentors out there. There are consultants out there, and we even work with a consultant that helps us kind of prepare. But it's nothing like actually being in the seat and going through the process. And so I was just trying to get as much information as possible, and it wasn't a lot out there. It wasn't a lot out there. So I feel like it's important now that I've actually been able to go through this experience is to share just a little bit of how it was for us in case somebody else is coming along and looking for that same information, and now they'll have something to pull on. All right. So first thing I want to start with is just to say, what is FCCLA and what is ProStart? Because when I throw those terms out there, sometimes people look at me like, and then even when I break down the acronym, there's still a big question mark. So I'm literally going to share my screen and we're going to literally Google these terms and see what pops up. And I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to talk about my experience of selecting the team. I had several people ask me about that at the competition we just came back from. Like, how did you pick the students that were going to participate? Because for ProStart, you can only have up to 5 students on the culinary competition side. They also have a management side where it's no cooking on the spot necessarily, but it's more so developing an idea, a food service business idea, and then doing an oral presentation with a display or portfolio based on that idea. We did not participate in the management side of things. It just would have been whew, hmm, too much for me. So we didn't do management. Maybe next year. But I want to talk to you about what we did do. So let's literally, I'm gonna literally open up a tab here. I'm going to share my screen, and we're gonna dig into just start with some basic definitions. How about that? How about that? So I'm literally gonna type, what is FCCLA? All right, and let me make sure y'all can see my screen. All right, so FCCLA stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And I think I talked about this on the last episode a little bit when we were in between events when we came back from FCCLA. But just in case you didn't watch that episode, and make sure you go watch it after this one, but or listen to it. But FCCLA stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. So it's a national career and technical student organization. So we call it CTSO in school. And so what that means is it's helping students prepare for college and career readiness, right? You know, some students go post-secondary education route. Some students may go straight into the industry. Some students don't know what they want to do, but entities like FCCLA help them figure it out. Okay, it helps them develop their skills, and they literally have to pick. We call them star events. Students taking action with recognition. They have to pick a star event, and figure out, okay, what are the components that I need to execute on this event. Let me plan out how I want to present. Let me plan out what actions I'm going to take to fulfill the requirements of this star event. And family and consumer sciences is very broad. It's more than just culinary arts, which is one thing that I really do love about FCCLA compared to a ProStart, which we'll talk about ProStart in a minute. But FCCLA covers a broad range of topics, not just culinary arts and hospitality. So this year this was my first time going to the state conference, and I was a judge for the sustainability challenge. So the sustainability challenge, students had to think about different topics related to sustainability and how they would influence their community to have more sustainable practices. So I heard varying approaches to this and varying presentations from middle school students up to high school students about how they would approach the sustainability challenge, what they would do, what they would say. Some of the students had a plan of action that they could take, and then some of the students actually not only did they have a plan of action, but they took that action and they went through with their community-based project. And so it was really cool to see one group, they did like a clothing drive to help people that needed clothes and things, and they talked about how they networked with a nonprofit in the community to get the distribution of the clothes, and how they reached out to the friends, family, people at their school to gather the items. And they had a nice display, and they talked through every step, and it was really cool. Another group talked about water and water bottles, and how we throw away so many tons of water bottles, and how they would want to help their community by having refillable water fountain stations at their school. They broke down how much it would cost to install them and implement it, and how they would carry it on even after they graduated and left, how they would pass on information to students coming up to maintain this. I mean, they just really did a good job. Our students participated in 3 different categories of STAR events, and there's lots of categories of STAR events. And so if you have a middle school, high school student, or soon to be, or even if you have a little sister, cousin, uncle, well, I do have an uncle that's younger than me, but if you have somebody in your life that needs something to be a part of. Maybe they're not into sports, or maybe they are and they need something else. They need some community service based activity to help build their resume and help them be a contributing member to society, because everything's not about the resume all the time, right? But just to be a contributing member to society, joining something like FCCLA, there's other CTSOs out there as well that have similar missions, is really, really great. I mean, a lot of times we think about fraternities, sororities, national honor societies, and things like that, and we gear toward the post-secondary level. But there's a lot of things that we can do to help prep our students before they even get to that place in life, to be a contributing member to society. So I highly, highly, highly encourage that. So for those people who are asking me, what is FCCLA? That's what it is. Not only do you have the star events and conferences, by the way, as part of the national conference, like students have to be in business attire, right? So it's teaching them how to dress appropriately for different occasions, right? Um, and they have an opportunity to network with students and teachers from other schools across the state. So there's a state level conference, and then there's also a national level conference, which is pretty cool. But in addition to the events, right? So it's not just about presenting the events and getting awards, but there's also national programs that students can be a part of to help the community, right? And that's throughout the year, not just isolated to the conference that happens once a year. So really, really great program, really great way to have your student be active and involved. If they don't have an active chapter at your school, you should inquire or have your student inquire, how can we start a chapter? Really, how it works at our school, so I'm sure it's similar at most schools, is as long as you have a small group of students who are interested and one or two teachers who are willing to be an advisor, you can start any chapter of any organization or any club that you want. And so go for it. Right, get it going. If it's not already present at your school, you start it. Right, get it going. Get it going. um let's switch back to let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about ProStart a little bit. All right, so that was FCCLA. This season, we've had a lot. We've had a lot going on, and but it's been very rewarding to be a part of. So let's talk about. So I did the exact same thing just to show you guys. Just typed in the same way I said what is FCCLA. I typed in what is ProStart. Okay, so ProStart is a career and technical education program that unites the food service industry and the classroom to teach high school students culinary skills and restaurant management principles, as well as employability skills such as communication, teamwork, professionalism, and time management. All right, so ProStart is the creator of the curriculum that we use in our culinary arts and hospitality classes currently at my school. And it's what I've taught from for the past 2.5 years. I don't know any other program. So, but so I can't necessarily compare it to anything for you, but I will say that I think it is very thorough. It is very thorough. And it talks about not just, hey, let's grab some pans and utensils and start cooking, but how do you communicate with your team? What is positive feedback? How do you apply for a job? If you want to quit a job, what's the proper notice to give to quit a job? It talks about professionalism, talks about, so it goes through a lot of really great talking points and learning points from beginning kind of to end, right? And then we also cook, of course, and we also talk about safety and sanitation and all of that good stuff. But I think people automatically jump to that when they think about culinary arts and hospitality, but there's so much more. There's so much more to it than just, hey, let me cook, or hey, let me run the front desk at a hotel. Like, there's all these things in between. And so ProStart, I think, does a good job talking about a lot of those things. I want to share some pictures. So in addition, so ProStart is, let me, before I get there, ProStart is a curriculum. They also have, like I mentioned before, the competitions. They have it on the state level across multiple states, and then they also have a national invitational where the winners from each state advance to compete against one another on a national level, which is pretty cool because everybody's not into maybe tennis or basketball or soccer and all that. And I equate it to like a sports team, right? So if you cook competitively, it's that same passion, drive, energy, stamina, time, money, all of that same level of commitment goes into cooking competitively as it does to playing a sport competitively. So it's the closest correlation. Or maybe if you're thinking arts specifically, think about maybe a band member, a choir member, or somebody who dances competitively. That same amount of time, energy, again, money, passion, right? All of that goes into it. It's on that same par, right? And so it's pretty cool that students who are passionate about cooking or the culinary arts and hospitality sector or segment can have this outlet to be able to compete. There's other people out there also doing something similar to ProStart, but we didn't participate in that. So I'm in those other entities. So I'm not going to talk about them today. But there are some other entities and competitions and spaces out there that do something similar as well. So I'm going to share some pictures. We did not win, but you know what? It's not about whether you win or lose. It's about the intel you gather so you can come back and slay next year, or how you play the game. Right? So we did not place, but as you heard me say in that short blurb to the parents and guardians that I'm going to send out tonight, super proud of the way our team showed up and showed out and represented. I would not trade my team for any other team. I they did their thing. They did their thing. And so and they're all ninth and 10th graders. And so that's also exciting because they're so young, first time competing. If we do decide to go back next year, we're coming home with a trophy. I can tell you that right now. We coming home with a trophy, no doubt, no doubt, because these students, they got what it takes. They got what it takes, and they really did a good job. And even speaking to the menu when the judges were critiquing, asking questions, being able to answer those questions confidently, and man, they are some beasts out here. There are some beasts out here. All right, so let me share a few pictures. Um, from the competition itself. Let's see. And I'll say that, as far as again thinking about the type of information I was looking for um when I was doing my search is like, well, how often should you practice and how do you pick a menu and all that kind of stuff. We did a brainstorm where we I should have pulled those pictures up too. We did a brainstorm where we just wrote everything on the whiteboard. Like everything that comes to your brain as far as food, something you'll be interested in cooking, just write it down. And we had just a bunch of stuff. And so we started with just a flat out brainstorm. We kind of molded over. We kind of did some votes on some things. Like some things got vetoed if only one person thought it was a good idea, but nobody else did. We're like, nah, we're out. So after that brainstorm, we started just trying a few different recipes. We started doing some stuff, just trying it out, tasting it, eating it, having fun with it, having a good time while we kind of narrowed down things. And that's also how I picked the selected the team, right? So we started practicing and getting together way before competition season was upon us. And so I was looking for who's showing up consistently, right? We'll meet twice a week after school for 2 hours. Who's showing up consistently? Who's contributing to giving ideas? Who's helping clean up? Who's not just here to eat, but is willing to pitch in and help clean up and stuff like that. Um, and then we had also kind of had some practices last year. We thought we were going to compete last year. We were preparing to compete last year, but we ran into some roadblocks that were, I'm not going to say insurmountable, but it was just a lot of roadblocks. And we're just like, we have to pull out. But this year we made it. We made it there. And so several other students who were there last year came back this year like, yeah, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And so they already kind of had a rapport uh built there. But then there were some other new players in the game too, some new players in the game that popped up this year. So just seeing how they gelled, right, the communication, things of that nature. And really the main thing was the consistency piece and the desire, because you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? Right? Because we can learn how to cook anything together, right? We can look up recipes and practice them, mess them up, try them again. We can learn that stuff, right? That's really kind of the easy part. The hard part is, are you going to consistently show up? Are you going to put the time and energy in? Are you going to do what it takes to stay focused? Right? That's something that I can't, yeah, I can help guide that, but I can't necessarily teach you that. You have to have the desire to learn. You have to have the desire to show up, right, and put the effort in. I can't give you that, right? And so that's really what I was looking for, because the rest of the stuff we can figure it out. So that's how I selected the team, because in ProStart we can only have up to 5 people compete for culinary. So everybody who showed up didn't necessarily qualify to move forward, right? And then when we thought we had our final team selected of 5, then one person fell off, right? So we actually went to competition with 4. So um again, let me bring my screen back up, share a few. I'm just going to share a few pictures. If you follow me on Instagram, I did post kind of a live video, and I said I would come on YouTube and do a little bit more in-depth deep dive. And so that's what this is here. Let's start at the beginning. Kind of, I took several pictures, several videos. This is kind of us just goofing around and waiting our turn. We went last. Oh, okay. We're giving Jared pose with the head cocked to the side. I'm trying to make sure it's looking good. Okay. That was
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I don't know if y'all can hear that. We have another member of FCCLA named Jared, who gives the best picture poses. And so I was making fun of who was I making fun of? Gabby, saying she was giving Jared pose. All right, so some pictures. I popped in one. I think it was Lydia's idea. That's Lydia right there on the bottom right. It's my right. Is it y'all right? Let me see. Yes, y'all's right too. Lydia's idea to take the picture next to the legacy, which I was like, oh yeah, I like it. All right, so I'm covering it up in that picture, but you can see it there. Boom, legacy on the wall. And this was of legacy nature, because this was our first time coming to competition, and it's time to check in our equipment. That was our cart, our speed rack. With our selected dishes on it, that you have to do a dish request to figure out what dishes you want to use, which can be a little difficult if you don't have those size dishes during practice, because it's hard to know. And you'll see when we get to the soup picture, like it was like a small amount of soup compared to the size of the bowl, but the judge didn't say anything about that. But we'll see when we get the scorecard back if that came out as a problem or not. But some of the exhibitors there, Airmark, Concord Hospitality, all right, Daily 7 Hotels, Ecolab, Headway Workforce Solutions, Johnson and Wales, NC Central. That's where we were for the competition. NC State and the Coast Guard. The recruiter, one of the recruiters for the Coast Guard, good guy, very funny. Um, so on the product check-in, y'all see this orange cooler right here, and you see this little list. You have to list every single thing that's in your cooler. We had to hold our product cold from Charlotte to Durham, keep it proper temperature overnight, and then upon check-in, it has to be the appropriate temperature, or else they're gonna throw it out and you can't use it, right? Certain things have to be sealed, so you can see the chef there kind of checking our product to make sure it's up to standard. um, this was our timer. This guy over here. Oh, I made it bigger on accident. Hold on, let me see. This is our timer. He seemed like a pleasant gentleman. I don't think I ever got his name, but he was very pleasant. He works for Ecolab. Um, And then I think there was a little video of the check-in. Where did it go? Oh, I lost it. Oh, here it is. It's like 7 seconds. I don't know if y'all can hear this. Let's see. Where's the timer? They started looking for something in their equipment. This team's ready. I won't fit in your equipment. Yeah, yeah. They were making little jokes and stuff, kind of. So our report time was 5 minutes long, and we were early, so we kind of were just standing there for like 6 or 7 minutes, making small talk, waiting for the product check-in time, which they asked for feedback, and I think that might be. Let me write a note to self, like the report time. It felt so long. It felt like the longest 5 minutes because we also went last. So there were 8 different teams competing on the culinary side, and we were last. And so we already were waiting, watching other teams compete, watching their plates come out. We're dead last. And so to stand there for 5 minutes, still continuing to wait was like, oh, and it was longer than 5 because we were early. So we are standing outside for a little while, and then they're like, "You can come in. It's cold out there." And then, and then one of the check-in guys was like, "Tell me a joke." I'm like, I can't say anything, but I didn't have a joke anyway. But only the students could talk. This is them after product check-in, heading up to the competition floor. All right, and then actually on the competition floor. Judges kind of interacting, giving them the rules, breakdown, how it's going to go. Okay, that was the lead judge. We had a little bit of media out there. All right, that was cool. And them actually cooking. And again, they worked clean, they worked smart, they worked hard. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Here's another little video clip. This particular judge is judging knife skills. So they had one person looking at knife skills, some people looking at safety and sanitation, another person just doing the time, being the timekeeper. We had a whole separate other panel of judges tasting the food. So it was a lot going on, a lot of observation, a lot of people with clipboards walking around, right? A lot of pressure, but they were cool. Like they were at least presented cool. I don't know if they were panicking in their mind, but yeah, we filleted a fish for a fish cake. That's some of the skin. We also did a crispy like fish skin chip. So that was Axel working with that. And then you can kind of see the skeleton of the fish down there on the bottom left. It was a tilapia that was raised in our aquaponics lab at our high school. Just pretty dope. Students interacting, communicating during their setup time. They had 20 minutes to set up. Right. And more of the same, really. More of the same, just some action shots. And the governor popped in, which was pretty cool. Let's see, I got one like decent picture of him here. Yeah, governor popped in, and this gentleman right here to the left of the governor, he works for Golden Corral. He's one of the I don't remember his position, but one of the higher ups with Golden Corral, and he was like kind of telling the governor what was happening, what was going on, giving him a walkthrough. Golden Corral was the presenting sponsor, so that was pretty cool. That they were there as well. What else? What else? What else? The sign to the judges tasting area. Let's look at some food. Let's look at some food. I'm gonna let you go. This was our food. Potatoes came out a little crispy. But our menu was a tilapia. Our theme was child's play, and it was a Cheez-It crusted tilapia fish cake on a bed of kind of salad dressed with a shrimp ceviche, fish skin chip, and then batine potatoes, like a play on fish and chips. Our appetizer was a tomato basil soup with grilled cheese croutons. And you see what I mean by the amount of soup to the bowl, but it's kind of, I was looking for this size bowl to practice with, and then the appetizer has to be a certain number of ounces, so it's kind of tricky, kind of tricky. And then the dessert was a steamed chocolate cake with peanut butter cream cheese icing, fruity pebbles cereal milk infused with a raspberry compote. Um, and so we had some good looking food. These are some of the other schools. Their theme was Circle of Inclusion. They did a lamb chop, almost like apple fritter, Peruvian ceviche as the appetizer. So you had to present an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Um, that was West Mech. This was South Mech, who actually took second place in culinary. They had a cheer wine chicken with see if I can make this bigger. No, I cannot. Let me see if I can do it like this. I can make it bigger, but I can't. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, the appetizers are poached citrus shrimp, broom raw onion and tomato, julienne cucumber, and chopped cilantro, plated with an avocado mousse and brioche crisp, tossed with a lemon oil vinaigrette and flour microgreens. Okay, so the entree, yep, cheerwine chicken, sauteed chicken thigh with a goat cheese grit croquette, topped with a chiffonade cabbage slaw and cheerwine sauce. Okay, dessert was a deconstructed s'more, scratch made graham cracker crumbs, toasted marshmallow and raspberry coulis in a dark chocolate dome. I thought the dome was nice. It's kind of, I didn't really take a good picture to get the full effect of the dome down there, but I mean, chocolate work, cool, right? And then they put everything inside of there, which is dope. That was my favorite part of theirs. And then this was Ashe County. Their dessert, also my favorite part, because they did it. Let's see if you can see it. It's like a little shape of a fish, and their theme was seafood or the ocean. They did sushi and had some nice salmon popping, and then let me see if I could make their menu bigger. Hard to see, hard to see, hard to see. But I thought the color contrast was fantastic. The blue on red with the fish reflect the ocean theme. Very nice, nicely done. I like the sauce on the plate there. They did some nice work. Nice work. I think they were third place. Independence High School was first place for culinary, and for that reason, I'm going to skip their picture and not blow up the menu because they will be representing us at state. No, at sorry, that was state at nationals. So I don't want to reveal their hand there. Oh, go Independence, represent North Carolina. Cary High School, some type of pork loin situation with the potato crisp. The entree, citrus red pork medallions, maple Swiss chard. I think it's kind of hiding under there. Crispy potatoes, peppercorn cream sauce. Appetizers, a spicy shrimp sushi stack, layers of cauliflower rice, cucumber, avocado, and mango. And then the dessert, which is up front, a lemon lime cake with lime infused mousse, pecan, caramel brittle. This is East Mech. Really pretty plates. Really pretty plates. They unfortunately did not plate in time, so you have 60 minutes to cook 3 courses, and you have to present 2 plates for each course: 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, 2 desserts. One goes on display, which is what you're looking at, the display plate, and then the other plate goes to for the judges to observe and taste and give you feedback on. They didn't plate in time, but their plates look really. I like the colors. I like the height of the potato stack. Some good things happening here. Yeah, some good things happening there. Okay. And then Asheville. Asheville, they were first. I think the hardest positions are to go first and to go last. Asheville was first. The way they were moving They were really moving good. I told their coach, I think her name is Sarah, like they're looking good out there. The way they're moving, communicating, talking, um, just really, I was really impressed. Really impressed. Really impressed with Asheville. All right. But that's my little recap of ProStart. Would I do it again? I saw somebody ask me again in a week or two because it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy and it's enjoyable. I think it also felt like more energy because I'm still going through like my new teacher induction process. So I'm still in school. So I'm in taking classes, doing my homework, teaching and grading other people's homework, and then having practice after school. And then it's not just practice, it's shopping and sometimes people need to ride home and it's just it's not just the cooking piece, it's also the planning piece, it's also the helping with the numbers and the portfolio that needs to be presented and all that. All I can say is if you are thinking about taking a team to competition, if you can have a buddy help you and y'all can trade off, that will definitely lighten the load. Also, if you can start early, I know some teams were practicing 3 times a week. I think I felt like we could have potentially added another practice, but also because we started, I think, earlier than everybody else practicing, I felt like we didn't necessarily need that because we had already started, that rapport was already built. We had already started working through menu ideas and stuff like that. So we didn't necessarily need a third practice. But can you practice too much? Probably not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you can really practice too much. Um, so I don't know. That's a toss up, but it is super rewarding. I think it's a great learning experience, and not just for the kids, but I learned a lot too. I learned a lot going through this process. So would I do it again? Part of me, the competitive side of me says, "Oh, we coming for y'all next year. Y'all ain't ready." Another part of me says, "That was great. Great experience. Thank you. Thank you so much." And no, I will not be returning. So I don't know. I think I need to fully recover first, and then be able to answer that question. But definitely try it at least once. I'd say if it's something that you have a group of students who are interested enough to show up and willing to commit the time, try it at least once and see if you like it. I'd say that, and then you decide for yourself. But if you have any questions, comments related to coaching a team, or what is it, what it's like, or about anything that I shared, hit me up. I'm by no means an expert, but I'm happy to share um, anything that I've been able to pick up along the way. And I wanted to share the results with you guys, since you kind of were with me for part of the journey there. So that is the conclusion of competition season. Please don't ask me to go on another field trip. I'm done. I'm done. Chef Jackson out. Like I'm done. We have 2 more months of school. Let me tell you something, baby. Did my part. Okay. We have some other catering events and stuff like that coming up. That's fine. But mm-mm. Ooh, child. Mm-mm. I need to rest. And on that note, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening and or watching the Hospitality Hacks Pro show. Just finished up the recap of competition season. If I left anything out that you're curious about, let me know. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Happy again to share my experience. Like I said before, when I was kind of searching for something, I saw some promotional videos and stuff like that. I saw some teams that maybe taped part of their practice, but not really anybody kind of taking a deep dive behind the scenes. So I definitely wanted to share just a little dab of my experiences. And so again, open to questions, comments if you got them. I'll also go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Hospitality Hacks Pro. Be happy to connect with you there. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Talk to you soon.